of applying the power of the hidden key. And then I'm going to turn the tables on you guys and give you guys a situation. So a former client of mine, and whose name has been changed, it's all anonymous and all that. But you're going to be the coach. I'm going to give you an opportunity to be the coach. So we're going to change the tables a little bit, and then we'll wrap things up. So that's our game plan for today. And with that, I'm going to ask you guys to take out, if you have one, most people do, a cell phone. I'm probably going to be the only presenter you've ever had that's actually asked you to take out your phone versus put it away. So for this exercise, you have permission to take it out. If you don't have a phone with you, who does not have one with them? You do not? Okay. You can still do this exercise, so you won't be left out. What I'd like you to do is, at your table, I'd like you to share what's a favorite photo that you have. It could be any photo, favorite photo, and that's the goal. Any questions on what I'm asking you to do? All right, go for it. I'll give you a warning at the halfway mark. What else?
Lucky.
Pardon?
Lucky.
Lucky? So feeling lucky?
Lucky and grateful, kind of.
Grateful. Okay, feeling grateful. Yeah?
A sparkle in the eye.
A sparkle in the eyes. Okay. Yeah, there's that je ne sais quoi quality, right? You know, you just can't quite describe it, but you see the sparkle. The sparkle. Great. Great examples. How about with the pet peeves? What did you notice? What did you observe in others? Yeah.
Upset.
Upset? Okay. Yeah.
Annoyed.
Annoyed, or
Yeah.
yeah. See some heads nodding. What else did you notice? It came up for you, or you noticed in others at the table?
It's kind of hard to talk about something that is, negative that way. It's like get a little uncomfortable.
Okay, probably a little more guarded, right? It's uncomfortable, you get a little outside of your skin. Is anyone throwing themselves into it?
Yeah.
Enthusiastically, yes? You want to share? You don't have to share who it was at the table, but what was the essence of what you observed?
Sympathetic.
You're sympathetic. Okay. Yeah. So, these things are what we call triggers for us. Triggers for us, and they have ripple effects. They have ripple effects in how we show up with others. So when you think, and this is just a little, I don't even have it built in, but a little exercise you can think of when you're feeling nervous before an interview or something like that. You can just physically look at your favorite photo, or just think in your mind, and attitudes affect our job search or our careers, our career success. How does that play into it in a tangible way? How does that play into it? We're going to talk about how do we deal with our different fears. How many of us are afraid of rejection or failure, or overwhelmed by the obstacles that are in front of us? Okay. So we all experience that, myself included. We all experience that. It's part of being human, part of the human condition. So we're going to learn about what are some strategies for how we can manage that. Given that it's a given, how can we manage that and make it work for us? How can we make it work for us? And it can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. And then we're going to apply these situations to a case study, and then I'll share some resources. Okay? So these are the assumptions that I have about you, and you can correct me if there's anything I'm missing. But these are kind of the things I'm doing. Do we have any hostages in the room? Okay, No hostages. So in the corporate environment, I always have hostages.
Oh, they have to go.
Right? Yeah, it's either mandatory or voluntold. Okay? Voluntold. But I enjoy it, places like nonprofits, because it's usually you're motivated. You're motivated yourself, and you're here because you want to be here. So, but I always like to do a check. Always like to do a check. And you represent a range of abilities. So I'm going to be speaking to that. It doesn't matter if you've struggled with certain things. I know we all have different obstacles. It could be maybe some of us may have some health issues that prevent us from doing certain things. Some of us may have other obstacles. We're a caregiver for aging parents, whatever it may be. We all have different things that get in the way or, impede us in some way, impede our performance, but that doesn't have to stop us. It doesn't have to stop us. Okay? And hopefully we'll have a little fun. You guys having fun yet?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah, a little bit? Okay. All right, so we'll work on that. All right, so we're going to talk about mindset. This is the hidden key. And in your workbook, you can take some notes if you want. But this is the mindset is the hidden key here. And there's two types of mindsets. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. The fixed mindset is basically looking at your worldview, that things are etched in stone. We are what we are. Another the fixed mindset. So whatever qualities or talents we have, this is what we've got. These are the cards we've been dealt. Okay? That's a fixed mindset. The growth mindset, when we adopt a growth mindset, or those that have a growth mindset, is believing that, we may be born with certain qualities, and we may have a situation we may have been dealt a hand that's a good hand or a bad hand, but there's not a permanence there. That we can cultivate qualities in ourselves, we can grow, we can adapt, we can overcome, we can achieve. So these are some of the attributes of the growth mindset. So let's dive in a little deeper here. Someone with a fixed mindset tends to avoid challenges. Tends to avoid challenges because what enters the mind is, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? So they tend to avoid challenges. They like to focus on things that they know they can do. Because I know what I know I can do. I don't want to learn if I can do it or not, something new. So that's the avoids challenges. They may get defensive or give up in the face of obstacles. Get really defensive. How many of you know someone in your life who, in your heart of hearts, you've given them some honest feedback that you think will help them improve or grow or develop a better relationship with someone, and they totally pushed you away? Show of hands. How many of you have experienced that at some point in your life? Okay, most of you. So that is an indicator of a fixed mindset. It's an indicator of a fixed mindset. Okay? We may see ourselves, if we have this mindset, as our efforts being fruitless. Okay? What's the point? What's the point, Mike? I've applied for 100 jobs and I haven't gotten any interviews. What's the point of me trying anymore? Nobody wants me. It's a given. Or, on the flip side, they just don't get me. They don't understand. Right? That's just how it is. Why should I even try? Or, I've gone on these interviews. I've been on 20 interviews, and I haven't gotten any offers. What's the point of even going on the interview? Why bother? So this is part of a fixed mindset, and it's a sense of helplessness. Okay? this is related to the previous point, but we might ignore negative feedback. So we may be doing something, maybe, how do you know this? I applied for Heidi's job, right? 5 times. I got turned down every time. But, and I was getting some feedback from someone. Said, well, Mike, you dressed kind of sloppy. You're wearing jeans and your t-shirt and all that, and that might be why you didn't get the job. Now, if I'm with a fixed mindset, I'm going to say, no, I can do that job. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter how I dress. It shouldn't matter. So if I have a fixed mindset, I'm going to be just rejecting that. Make sense? Makes sense? So when there's other data out there that maybe just confirms our own belief, we tend to push it away when we're adopting that fixed mindset. Okay. You guys are better off having Heidi in the role anyway. All right. Feels threatened by the success of others. So how many of you have had a boss or a coworker at one point who felt threatened? You did a great job, and all of a sudden they just put their thumb on you, right? Or they take credit for your work, right? Because they feel it's a fear response. The fixed mindset is very much anchored in a fear-based mentality. That's the driver of the car, if you will, your career car. It's fear. It's a big driver. And so they feel threatened by the success of others. It's a very limited view of things. It's a very limited view of things. This is what sociologists and others call a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset, that there's a fixed number of resources and it's like a zero-sum game. So when someone feels threatened by someone else's success, Terry just did this, hit it out of the park with this presentation at work. I say, well, it was okay. It was all right, Terry. It's a good start. I might just kind of have a backhanded compliment, right? Well, how are you experiencing that right now?
Hey, I deserved it.
You deserved it. And I'm just kind of cutting into it, aren't I? I'm kind of knocking it down very subtly, right? So if I feel threatened, and it's a win-lose. Like, well, if Terry, because here's what's going on in my mind with a fixed mindset. Terry just did a knockout presentation. She knocked it out of the park. And I'm thinking, oh, she may take over my job because she looks good and I haven't done a presentation that well, okay? This making any sense? And so it's a zero-sum game. What's a zero-sum game? Zero-sum game, anyone know what a zero-sum game is? What's a zero-sum game?
There's a loser in each scenario. So, it's not like there can be a win-win. If somebody wins, then somebody loses.
Exactly. Someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. +1 in the win column, -1 in the lose column. 0. Big bet 0. That's what it comes up to. It's a fixed pie. Okay? It's a fixed pie. Versus, if we go over to a growth mindset, you're going to find it's different. Avoiding challenges to embracing challenges. There are opportunities to learn. There are opportunities to grow and get better. There's going to be some things in this workshop where I'm challenging myself, things I'm doing for the first time. There's an exercise we have I'm testing out. So you didn't know you were going to be guinea pigs, did you?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how we grow and that's how we learn. Persist in the face of setbacks. How many of you, think back, how many of you had something that at one point in your life thought was impossible, but somehow you were able to get past it? How many of you had, show of hands, how many of you had some kind of experience in your life? It could be a small thing, you know? It could be a big thing. And most of us have had at least one thing. Quite honestly, most of you probably had hundreds and hundreds of things, all right, that we choose to forget. We choose to forget when we're struggling, in the midst of a current struggle. But persisting in the face of setbacks. Seen upward. So